What's up? Ain't Got It Yet podcast, episode 35. Real happy about this one, man. I've been seeing this guy's work all over the city for a couple years now, man. I got Moss, the owner and creator of Original Goodstock. I appreciate you joining me on the show, fam.
Thank you, brothers. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you here, bro. Like I said, you've been killing it for a minute, bro. Been killing it. Everything good? Before we get into all that, everything good with you though? Everything? How's life treating you?
Man, life's been good. Challenging, like everything else. I think with anything though, like having a profession and anything and adulting at the same time has its like challenges, you know. So I think that's where I'm at in life, you know. But I'm happy to be capable and able to, you know. So yeah, just to kind of sum up your question there, I'm happy and able. So that's how I feel.
That's what's up. I want to hear about the whole journey, the whole story, bro. Because like I said, I got to cop something pretty soon. I've been seeing your hats all over town. Not just your hats, like all your stuff, man. I've been seeing it all over town. So I've been
Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody, and especially when I did a little bit more research and realized, you know, it was a minority-owned brand. You know what I mean? So that had me even more intrigued. I'm all about that black and minority-owned business for sure. I try to spend my money most of the time, all of the time if I can. So how did you get into, you know, design and creating hats and apparel and everything?
I honestly, like, I think organically, as an organic interest in it, you know, like growing up. Well, I kind of grew up like skater. Like I grew up being a skater here in San Diego, born and raised out here, and so as a skater, you know, you kind of knew kind of like the fly stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like just like anything, like being an athlete, you know about Nikes and Jordans and like what to wear and stuff, but. You know, being a skater, same thing, and I learned a lot about brands through having to buy like shoes, pants. You know, why these pants are more expensive than those, why people are rocking these and rocking those. But it kind of became a culture for me, and so as I got older, I kind of like got into like, okay, now like what do I wear to parties or what do I wear? You know, I'm 21 now. I want to go out with my friends. Like, what are they wearing? You know. So it kind of just adapted as a style of culture or, you know, brands and whatnot, and to learn more about it and to wear it. So I kind of got into it like organically that way. If that can answer the question.
And that was pretty much more so of like, was that getting into it in that way? Was that more so to craft like your own style and like how you were gonna dress, or was that, or were you saying like that was you getting into creating your brand?
I think both.
Okay.
I think both.
Okay.
Yeah. I consider both of those being part of that for sure.
Okay.
And it's always been a part of me. I would say, like, I always I have like a addictive personality, and so like growing up, I always liked, I want to be the guy with that, or I want to be the only guy, you know, rocking that or this. So, you know, and then talking about pieces and stuff. Yeah, it's always been kind of an organic interest of mine for sure.
Got you. So what like sparked the first idea for the brand, and where how did you come up with the ideas for the brand and the name and everything? Like, when did all that start?
So I started diving into eBay in high school. This is probably like 2006, 2005. And this is when like Instagram is still kind of brand new to everybody. There was no like DMing. Like, this is when like, in order to get someone's contact, you have to comment your phone number and then delete it.
For real?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, you had to comment your phone number, email, and then make sure they get it and then delete it. So like, there was a lot of that going on. But I made an eBay store, and I got into vintage. And back then, the vintage market was solely online. Like, the in-person market wasn't here yet, and so you couldn't really make a whole ton of money in person with it. It had to be like online, because those were where all the collectors were and all the real like shoppers and stuff like that. So I created a marketplace there, and then from there I started learning about like hats and vintage polo and vintage like Louis, and like, yo, I thrifted this. I didn't know how much it cost really, and I didn't know it was this much. And so just found success in a lot of those situations, and then grew and grew and grew. And then got me to eventually started doing it year long. I wouldn't say full time yet, because I was still kind of like in high school and doing my thing, but like doing it at a bigger scale, you know. And it got me wanting to learn more. You know, when you're like having fun with it, like it makes you want to like learn more about it.
For sure.
Like, oh yeah, like since I'm selling this, like what's this about? What makes this more expensive? But yeah, and I learned about like all like the throwback hats and how much they cost, and you know what collectors are looking for. So that kind of spawned me into, I think I can create stuff for people. Because with vintage, what are we doing? We're pretty much thrifting it. We're going out and seeking the clothing, and then we're collecting it, and you know, and then reselling. We're not really creating. We're just curating. You know. So I love that part. Fell in love with it. Was good at it, and then kind of grew into, well, I want to create my own stuff for people. You know, I want to be able to be the creator and throw out pieces that people can collect and stuff like that. How do I get into that market? So then that whole idea spawned into having me create a brand. So
That's dope. That's dope, man. You spoke about thrifting. I didn't know. I'm not like big into it like that, but I was like more so into it around like 2014 maybe. I didn't realize like how much of a thing like thrifting was. Like I didn't know. Like I knew if it's like, you know, for people like if you're into fashion and you want to like cop like an older piece like for the low, and it's like you're gonna have to really dig and find it. Like I knew that was a thing, but I didn't know so many people like knew it was a thing, and it was like, I don't want to say like gatekeeping to it, but people were like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like people are like more meticulous than others, and like those people kind of like look down on the other thrifters that like quote unquote don't know how to thrift right or whatever. Like I didn't know it was a whole like culture and community with it, is what I'm trying to say. Like I thought it was just like, you know what I'm saying, you want to go cop something on a Saturday, you ain't got nothing to do, you hit the thrift store. I didn't know it was a whole community around it, bro. I had no idea.
yeah, dude. No, yeah. Honestly, like, I mean, there's two sides to it. I don't think that side is wrong either. I think there is a demographic that likes to go shopping and then come up on something cheap. That's cool. I think that's also the side of the culture for it too. And just to kind of add to what you were saying, like, but a lot of brands and clothing ideas that are here now kind of came from that, you know, like. It was cool seeing, like, I never thought it would be like this massive to where we're seeing success coming from cats like Sean Witherspoon and Round 2. I never thought so. I thought it was going to stay on eBay, stay online, and be amongst those gatekeepers and like just being there. Because I remember like in San Diego when I used to have stock of vintage, it was so hard to sell it to people because people here didn't get the wave yet, so they thought it was just, that's just a used T-shirt, you know. But they didn't know I was trying to sell them like a vintage Tupac graphic tee that I had at the time, and they didn't even want to buy it. Nowadays, you walk into one of those cosign stores at the malls, and you try to cop one of those things, they're selling it at top dollar, you know. Sure. So it's like I never thought it would be this like big, you know. But like. My mentality and fashion just grew with it, you know, and so like I loved it at the time, and I really appreciate vintage and what it taught me, and I'm glad to kind of fast forward into something new from that, and I think it kind of has like a double meaning to it, because with vintage we're reusing the whole fashion sense of everything, so I kind of recycled myself from that and becoming something new, so. And that's like my whole mentality too, is like I love to evolve as much as I can, not quickly, but like as many times as I could, you know. Just I thrive in that, you know.
That's what's up. Some of my favorite pages and accounts to follow these days are I've been trying to like follow like more like I'm most people can tell like I'm really into like putting outfits together and like my clothes and fashion and everything.
Yeah.
But I plan to, in the near future, hopefully, the goal is in the near future to like start selling my own hats and socks. So I've been like trying to follow like more like accounts and more like, just get more into it. Some of my favorite accounts to follow now are the people that like thrift, like some of like the older, like, they'll have like a new like Nike like crew neck or a new hoodie. And they'll have like some like older like vintage, like almost looks like a Christmas sweater, like a grandpa sweater. And they'll like cut it up and like restitch it and like make like this new super dope Nike crew neck sweater, you know what I mean? Those are like some of my favorite accounts to follow these days. And it's all like people that are thrifting, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's some of my favorite stuff to look at.
So that's to add to that, like that's the cool part about all of this too, is like people are becoming skillful inventors and putting together one-off pieces and things like that, what we're doing here, and like it's now expanding, into other spaces, and that's cool about fashion, that it never stops. It's it's like a living organism, and I've grown to love each aspect of it, of every type of fashion, because I used to like just one way of it, like growing into it and being a consumer, but as soon as you step into the boundary of, hey, I'm going to be a creator, I'm going to create stuff for people, then your mind kind of starts to develop this like new way of thinking, like new ways of like, oh, yo, like I get why people wear this now, because when I made it, the reaction they got, oh, I get it now, It's just it kind of shines light on like the process and what to look out for, and just becoming more of an artist, but yeah, no, that's
I found, and I'm nowhere, I'm not on your level, obviously, but like for me, like the more I get into fashion and like looking into like different garments and stuff, it makes you kind of bougie, because it's like once you once you realize what like a quality t-shirt, like how it feels on your skin, you don't want just any old t-shirt anymore, you know what I mean? Same with like anything that you put on, like once you like, and I'm not even talking about like super high price, I'm just talking about quality materials. You know what I mean? Like once you wear it and like it fits a certain way or it feels a certain way on your skin, it's like I gotta have this moving forward ever. I gotta have all my clothes like this, you know what I mean? So it kind of makes you, for me anyway, I feel like it kind of like it's made me like a little bit bougie. Let me ask you this: have you were you the guy, like you said, like you wanted to be the guy, like I want to be the only one wearing that? Were you the guy kind of like in your friend group or at your school or in your circles that was like they knew like you were like the guy that like he's the clothes guy or like he's like the fashion guy?
It got to that point around like after graduating high school. Like,
okay.
Because I was still kind of like finding my way through it all. Because I was heavily into skating and music, so like, and playing instruments, and so like I was heavily into that. Guitar.
Nice.
Yeah, I played guitar, and I would purchase like back then. I mean, even like going to Guitar Center. I know this is a little off topic, but like going to Guitar Center and like seeing all the guitars and seeing the styles and seeing like it also gave me like a deeper understanding of these are all collector's pieces, and so I heavily grew up in that, and that was like the era for a while, but it transitioned me into knowing like graphic tees and like you know what I'm saying, like it just went with the music at the time. So but yeah, no, I played in that, and then became more into fashion and clothing after that. But I was into that a lot. So,
do you still play guitar?
I don't. No, I don't. I do want to from time to time, but I do want to dive into music again. But I just feel like my mission with fashion isn't finished yet. So
I hear it.
I just want to make that or this as successful as I could get it. So
I feel it. Yeah. I grew up playing the drums, and I haven't played. I was just telling Shotty, the drummer from Soul Sunday, I just had him on the show.
Yeah, shots are shot.
And I was just telling him, you did just mention him. I was just telling him, like, I grew up playing the drums and I haven't played, I probably played like twice in the last year. And that was my first time playing in like over 10 years. It's been so long.
That's amazing. But I feel like you'll never lose it. You
Oh
know?
no, no, I'm
Once
super rusty, but I could definitely
you can
still
still
play.
do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I find music with anything else like music, fashion, it just gives you a feeling that no one can really describe, you know, to an individual. So that's why I feel I find it all being a form of art for us, you know.
Absolutely,
Yeah. So
absolutely. Creation.
whether you haven't done it in 10 years and you do it, you know, you do it again, and the feeling is still there. It's just you know,
100%.
our skill hasn't been practiced, you know, but we're still able to do it. And it all connects. It's all one universe of creativity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're all into you're graduated high school. You say you're all into fashion, thrifting, and everything, developing your style and what you like and everything. At what point did you decide, like, you know what, I'm gonna start creating my own stuff and I'm gonna start my own brand? And what was the first design?
Ooh, I like that question. It's a fully loaded one. So I think the pivotal moment for me was like, because when I graduated high school, I had like a 2-year gap of me having to take a break from entering college or community college, because that was the plan. And so a buddy of mine, he was going to San Diego State at the time. Shout out to Dom Jewel, and we became good buddies. And so he picked up a gig with Tyga, the hip hop rapper Tyga, and became part of his media team for his clothing brand. And so he told me about it, and it was
Last
like,
Kings,
yo,
is it?
Last Kings, yeah, Last Kings. And he had mentioned to me about it and needed some help, and so I helped him along the way from photo shoots, and then at one point became a model for the clothing brand too. And I thought that was really cool. And then from doing all that, I kind of was like, well, there's gotta be more to this, you know. Let's figure some new stuff out. So I went from model to creating and designing the clothing. And I remember we were part of a project where at the time elongated stuff were kind of coming in. You know, like the biker pants or the Balmain biker pants, and then like a curved long tee or something. So we developed this like lumberjack extended flannel, and Tiger really liked it. So we went ahead and finalized the design, and I was product manager, so I was making sure everything was the quality control was there. So I overseen all the production to make sure the cut was right and everything. And then he wore it in one of his music videos. I forget which one. I think it was, man, I forget what song it was, but it was cool seeing him wear it. And at that moment, I was like, dude, like that, I seen this from start to finish. Like, that's cool. And then it became kind of a viral thing because at the time, that style was seen on T-shirts, but never on like a flannel button-up, and people thought it was so cool, and then everyone kind of hopped on.
I feel like I can see the video. What year was this?
Oh man, this is probably 2010, 2011.
I feel like it was a video he did with Chris Brown, but
it might have been, yeah, it might have been that, or it might have been right before the album dropped. There was probably a track in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because that one was like that collab album. Yeah.
The
yeah.
Fan of a Fan, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might have been before that dropping. But,
okay.
Yeah, there was a lot going on during that time. But yeah, so I got a chance to experience a lot of that. And got me to learn more, because I was getting put into these spaces and learning about, because I never knew about how clothing was made or designed or how it's worn. So I got a chance to learn that. And then from there, I was like, dude, like, my people in San Diego would love stuff like this. Like, if I created something like a brand or something, like, I think it's closer to the time, you know? So at one point, we all kind of just went our separate ways, and I came back to San Diego just to kind of reevaluate and kind of seeing if, you know, what direction I want to take. And so my first design, kind of segueing into that, So a good buddy of mine, shout out to Dom. Shout out to Don from Rerun and Play Bonsai. But he's a good friend of mine. We went to high school together. He was also in a lot of other spaces during the same time, and opened up a shop at Plaza Bonita. At the time, it was called Applause Showroom, and then he rebranded it to Rerun.
Okay.
It's no longer there, but that was the store. And I just remember him telling me, "Hey, like, dude, like, I know you're working on something, man. Like, bring it over. Like, we're doing our first local pop up. We're gonna have all the local guys here. We would love to have you." And I said, "Well, you know, me being at that age, I think I was somewhere in my mid-20s. I was like, man, I'm not ready for this yet. Like, it's my first time doing it, and I want to be up to par with these guys, because at the time for that pop up, it was Rottweiler at the time, me, and 3 other local brands, and I was like, dude, I gotta come up with something. Turned it down the first time, and then he hit me up again and said, we're having another event, man. Love to have you. I know you're working on something, and I had nothing. I didn't have anything. And at the time, I was my eBay store was filled with hats. That was just my thing. I was, everyone loved sneakers. I loved hats, so that was what I was doing at the time. And I was like, well, let me come up with my first hat. Let me see what I can come up with. And at the time, I was working at Domino's Pizza and Panda Express. So I was working at 2 jobs. And creating a hat, dude, like for embroidery, at the time, I didn't know pricing that well, and I didn't know how much things were going to cost me, and it cost me like a whole check, and I said, dude, like, I'm going to have to just try to see if I could budget this out, because I'm the one funding this whole thing, and so I created I created 2 hats, 2 colorways. They were like dope corduroy dad hats. At the time, I remember, it was really hard to find like a cool dad hat, so I came out with these corduroy ones, and I added my embroidery to it. And this is my first time, because you can see through our brand now, like, we're very like faith based. You see a lot of faith based stuff. So at that time, I was really reluctant to doing something like that and to coming out with something that says God on it. So I said, I don't know if I want to do this, but something's telling me this is the phrase to use. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do a phrase on a hat, because everyone's doing graphics, everyone's very artistic right now, and that's not my vibe. I'm like, at the time, I was like, I'm just really simple. I like simplicity. I like impact, and I like personality. Excuse me. And this is what I'm about. So let's do this. So I did that. I added my phrase to my hats, which was, God gave me power to achieve dopeness. And so that was like my phrase. I put it on the hats, and at the time, I was, I'm a big consumer too. So at the time, Fear of God, Jerry Lorenzo was kind of coming out the gates. And so, and that leads to my other thing about why we chose OGs and like using Old English and whatnot. So, seeing Jerry come out the gates, Fear of God, the F being like a Old English type of font style, I thought that was really cool. But he didn't really come out with the collection yet. We just kind of heard about him. So at that time, I said, well, like, dude, I think, let me just come out with this. I think I have a good feeling. So I did. I came out with 50 hats, dropped them in store at the event, and I told the guys, they were like, well, how much are you selling them for? And I said, well, I value like the work that went into it. I'm gonna start it at $50 a hat. And they're like, dude, what? Oh man, I don't. Okay, we'll do it. We'll put it at 50. And everyone else was like selling a bunch of stuff and whatnot, and all my hats sold, all of them. And then I sold the one on my head too, because someone wanted it, so I sold that one.
Nice.
And they were saying like, dude, like that's crazy. They were kind of flipping out. And at that moment, I said, well, I think we're gonna keep this going. Like this is good momentum. And it gave me a deeper understanding. And I said, okay, well, let's let's keep going, dude. Like, this is where it's gonna start, you know. So that was my first like product ever, I would say, like from start to finish and then sell. So that would be the first OG's product for sure. So, yeah.
This may be a silly question, but as far, you know, selling New Era hats, how does, like, are you like partner with them? Or are you just put your things on their hats? Like, how does all that work?
Well, a lot of it now. I mean, in the beginning, I was just having to do limited things with it. We have yet to still venture into that process with them. I'm sure they know about us, but for now, I just have folks bring us their hats, and I kind of do my thing to it, just to kind of not venture into that field just yet. I have gotten a lot of advice for it, but we're still kind of mingling with the whole concept, you know. I haven't traveled into that yet. However, I have traveled out with lids with a few things, stuff I can't mention, but like they've taught me a lot of things to know and to get ready for. And so, well, we've been talking about some stuff too, but for now though, we're just like, I'm just having fun developing the concept more and more.
Absolutely.
I'm sure New Era, you know, I have a whole plan to where it is an opportunity for that. Then we'll go ahead and go into it. But I'm hoping soon. You know, we're not afraid to venture and break the rules and shake some feathers up. You know, I think, and I've seen it being said. But yeah, streetwear is made for, or streetwear fashion is made to shake things up and startle some people, you know. So, you know, that's a lot of it. A lot of my concept also goes back to like just being edgy, you know, and being like, you know, openly about it and stuff like that. So, you know, the distressing concept just comes from a long line of just a lot of inspiration. So from where we come from, but yeah.
Got you. What's the name Original Goodstock? How'd you come up with that?
Originally it was Goodstock Vintage because of the whole vintage thing. And in vintage, there's terms that people like to use in order to value a piece of item. So, the term that I liked at the time, I still do, it's called dead stock. Like, oh yeah, I got this, you know, this hat is a dead stock, you know, they don't make it anymore, and it's dead stock with the tags. So it's a good indicator that, oh yeah, that's a really good item to invest in or to get, you know. And so I really like that term, and I'm like, dude, that would be cool to kind of maybe make a name from that, but in my own style or my own meaning. So I said, well, Goodstock sounds kind of cool too. And at the time I was thinking, well, like Goodstock, like have Goodstock in your closet, have it stocked up in your closet. And our ideas or our merch and collections and stuff like that will be able to compete with things in your closet. So that's kind of another meaning toward Goodstock in the beginning that I had, and I kind of stuck with it. And then as we grew out of the vintage era, I kind of wanted to... Actually, I didn't want the name at all and after that anymore. I wanted to come out freshly new with another concept. But everyone around town kept saying, Goodstock, boss, bro. What's up, dude? Like, you got any more like hats? You got any more? And at the time, I was like, dude, like, no, man, like I'm good. But it kind of turned me off a little bit because I wanted to come out with something different, you know. But it just the name had so much value in it. I had gotten a few opinions and advices from a few folks, and they were saying, like, just try to work around it. You know what I mean? Try to see if you can still hold the name up, because obviously people are seeing you as that. So I said, okay, well, let me try to work some things out, and just came up with some inspiration. And so before original Goodstock came about, I wanted to create a logo because we didn't really have a logo. We just had the script, the name, the script. And I said, well, I'm a fan of simplicity. I want something simple, nice, clean. And of course, everyone knows the whole history with Nike and Adidas and the stripes and the check. So I said, well, I want something like that. Like I want my own Adidas stripe or my own. So we played around with a lot of things, and an OG apostrophe S came about. So I said, dude, that's dope. I love that. And then it could also be the abbreviation of original Goodstock. And original being, with their concept and using Old English and stuff like that, it kind of just gives the brand the character it needs. So I kept that. And then OG apostrophe S, I kept as well because the apostrophe S the brand is just made up of of everyone that I've came into contact with and that loves the brand, and they tell their friends, and it's just a big family, big community of us. And so the apostrophe S is plural. So the meaning of that, which means all of us, that's what the apostrophe S is for. And it also too, it pays homage to like my hat community because I love hats, and so like I love like the athletic, the Oakland Athletics logo, and so the A apostrophe S was just like really cool to see. So I kind of grabbed some inspo from there, put it all together, and kind of kept it within my logo. So after I came up with that, then the original kind of made sense. So I kept it in the script name. And now we're moving forward with two things to brand, or two things to kind of introduce into the clothing. So that made us really comfortable and confident, and everything else kind of started getting put into place when it came to designing stuff or making the hats or anything like that. So it made things a lot easier when you're trying to find more of the identity of what you're creating, what your brand is, So, it made things cooler and funner, and, we just took off with that.
That's what's up. Very thought, very meticulous. I like that. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
What's your, and if it's SD, I get that, but if it's not, feel free to say it though, bro. What's your favorite, you're a hat guy, what's your favorite, baseball team, logo?
Ooh, I think I have a favorite team in every genre, I think. But in baseball,
I mean, your favorite team to root for. The hat that you put on, the SD, the NY, the C. What's your favorite baseball cap? What's your favorite cap?
In terms of just favorite in general, or just like?
Let's go with the baseball caps.
Okay, I would say if we're just saying favorite hat in general, I would say my favorite logo in baseball is, yes, it's SD. It's SD. It's SD for sure. It's SD. I have to. But not just because I have to. I feel like it's a very dope, it just nails it in terms of what an MLB logo with two letters looks like.
I agree.
Know what I mean?
I agree.
Second option, I have to throw my second one in because I love it a lot too, is the Chicago White Sox logo. Just because it does still kind of resemble with the S, but just a different take on it, But if I had to choose, those two for sure.
Okay.
Those two for sure. And then LA will be third, but, I know no one wants to talk about LA here. No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
I'm originally from Long Beach. I'm a San Diego guy, but I'm originally from Long Beach, so I root for all the LA area teams. I'm diehard Lakers fan. I like the Padres, but I also root for the Dodgers as well. It's where my roots are. It's where I'm from originally. You know what I'm saying? But though, that Yankees NY is so cold to me, bro. I don't think there's, as far as baseball caps go, I don't think there's a doper logo than that NY. And then after NY, I'd say the White Sox had that SOX, and then SD, and then LA, I'd say. But that NY is cold. Ain't no topping that to me. It's so cold, bro. Yeah. And then, the Cincinnati Reds, that C is real simple and real dope, you know what I mean? But that NY. Let me ask you this while we're talking about hats and everything.
Sure.
The Chance 3 hat. Bro, I I don't. I think he's mastered just something simple but dope, and just he hit the nail on the head with. I've never seen anybody take something that was like a three, obviously, something that's like pre-existing, and make a slight change to it, make it his, and it goes crazy. I don't think I've seen anybody do it better than that. That's crazy, bro.
I agree. I agree. I like. I mean, first off, I like Chance the Rapper. Just what he's already created for his brand and for his music. So the three kind of makes sense. I think the three complements just him as a creative person. You know, that he can manifest something not just for your ears, but like, yo, like this iconic branding that you're gonna forever remember. You know. And so, but that's just to name a few. I mean, just to add to that, like Tyler, the creator, and the things that he's able to accomplish and manifest and create, like that's amazing, you know. And my hat goes off to those creators because, like, I mean, those guys we've seen create a high caliber in music and culture. For them to step into apparel and create something that like. That's so dope that you won't even know that it's attached to them. You're like, dude, that's just a dope 3 hat. I really like that, you know what I mean? Like, oh, Chance made that? That's crazy, you know? Like, but Tyler, like, I wouldn't, if I didn't know, you know, Golf Wang and Tyler, the creator, and the two exist, I would think, like, that's a cool brand in itself. Like, you know, I've been to the store in Fairfax, I've seen it, you know, it's like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know he was behind this. So it's always cool to see that, you know.
I think as far as like celebrities with like, if they, I don't want to just say merch, if they have a clothing line or a brand, I think though it it speaks to their creativity or their branding and everything when it can stand in man, I'm blanking on it now. Like Kanye, but like Russell Westbrook and Honor the Gift. I right when it dropped, I didn't even know that was his. I think I did, like, just because of my boy Jotham is a big Russell Westbrook fan, and he's very big into fashion as well. So I think I might have vaguely heard him say it, but when I like saw his brand Honor the Gift, I'm like, yo, I need some of that. I need it. And then I want to say like maybe like a month later, my boy was posting, because he's a big Russell Westbrook guy, he was posting some of the clothes. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. But when I saw it, I just saw a dope brand, and I was like, I need to cop something. It would have had nothing to do with Russell Westbrook, you know what I mean? And also like the same, it's the same but a little bit different, because it's more like a culture thing. But like Nipsey's Crenshaw line. And it's like Nipsey's my favorite rapper. After Jay-Z, Nipsey's my favorite rapper. So I'm all about it. But again, I guess a little different because I'm from the LA area. But aside from Nipsey, when you just look at the Crenshaw or the Marathon clothing, it's just dope clothes that you would want to wear aside from Nipsey. It's even more dope that he's this dope rapper and this dope cultural icon that he stands next to it. You know what I mean? But it stands alone by itself, to your point.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, and that's why a lot of these brands are timeless. Not to say that everyone's brand isn't timeless, but when done at that level and tastefully and consistently, it just continues to take off. So, no, I think those are great examples. And Nipsey Hussle being one of them too. So,
Absolutely. You being a big hat guy and wanting to design and create your own hats, was the vision always, and was there always a goal to create all the other apparel that you create, or were you focusing on hats and that kind of came later?
I was focusing on hats.
Okay.
And then the apparel kind of came later. So, for a long time, if you go on our Instagram, I mean, we have a lot of posts on there, but if you go in the beginning, it's just been like all different types of hat drops and stuff. So, and my mind was just like, yo, we're just gonna tackle the whole hat game, and just go from there, you know. But as soon as I kind of tapped into like, I think I don't even remember when it started, because I mean, even with shirts, like a lot of our shirts that we came out with were very simple, just a really concrete, impactful phrase that went with the brand, and that was it. As soon as we introduced T-shirts, like all we had was we came out with another phrase called we named it like "Welcome to the Gang." Excuse me here, "Welcome to the Gang," "Welcome to the Gang," and that just kind of became iconic to the brand. And all we did was just print them on tees and made it simple. Just played with different colors and put them out. That went with the headwear. And that was a hit, and so from there it kind of gave me like a spark to say, okay, well, what else can we do with this? You know, all at the same time, we were still trying to find our brand identity too. And so because at the time, like my artistry was very simple, and I wasn't really a big graphic guy. I wasn't really heavy on the graphics. And so later on, when we started going into, I think maybe right before COVID hit, and then we started going into more artistry stuff too, as more inspiration started coming in. So we started venturing more into that stuff. But tees, shorts was a big thing for us too. Then we started doing graphics on shorts, and that became a thing. And so now that's what we keep stapled, like for everything that we put out. We just put like all of our heavy staples on, shorts, hoodies, tees, hats being unexclusive. And so the hats, I do them at, I do them at limited runs at a time because they're so tedious, and it takes a lot of work from after all the stitching's done, and then from me having to distress them. So a lot of it we like to drop just in limited times, and one time during that time or during that month or whatever the case is. And they're all special, so like we kind of keep that being the top tier item, and then everything else kind of follows suit. So.
Got you. That's dope. What you mentioned Saucin from Sneaks Clothing Shop. Saucin, I got one of his hats on right now.
Hey.
You also mentioned, and this is off camera when he mentioned them. Luis from Faith by Luis. So you know a lot of the designers and brand owners here in town. Did you meet them like through also being a brand owner, or were these people that you met prior to?
Man, a lot of it is both, but I think with those two individuals, like Faith by Luis, I met him just through production. I met him, we were making our stuff at the same place.
Oh, okay.
And we were kind of just co-collaborating on things. And
That's dope.
And then we eventually came out with a hat together too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we came out with a collection. And
how long ago was that?
This is probably like 2020.
Okay, that's before I was tapped in. Okay.
Yeah, it's 2020.
I was about to say, how did I miss that?
Yeah,
okay.
So at the time, we had a boutique for the brand. So I had two boutiques, and so I would have people come in, and we would have events and whatnot. And we held our collab release at our shop. So people came and participated, which was cool. But me and Luis, we've always had good chemistry. With Saucin, I think same thing. He's met me through my shop. I think he came to check me out one time. We chopped it up, he's
a good dude.
Shoot the shit a little bit, and then became homies from there. And I learned about his brand and whatnot, and so and he would always come around and come to our events, so that was cool. And me and him just became close ever since. So, but a lot of the times, I've been doing this for a while. A lot of the times, it's like, it's both. It's whether,
Got you.
It's whether I knew you already or we kind of met just through the brands or something like that. So, yeah. So
like-minded people, I get that.
Yeah, like-minded people,
That.
And so yeah,
I've met and become friends with a few podcasters here in town, and I didn't know them. We wouldn't know each other if we weren't all podcasters, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. When you're not, you're very much into what you do with your life. When you're not designing and creating hats and all your apparel and everything, what do you do? Like, what do you do in your free time? How do you unwind? What are some of your hobbies?
Man, honestly, like, man, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
Sounds like you don't have any. You sound like me.
Right.
Like because for me, photography and podcasting were my hobbies. It was what I did when I had a 9 to 5. It was what I did to I can't wait to get off work. I'm gonna go do my podcast. Can't wait to go film something. And now both of those things are my job. It's my life now. So I don't have any hobbies. And people be asking me what do you do when you're not podcasting? I'd be like, I watch YouTube, and I'm probably watching a podcast. You know what I mean? So I really don't have. I need some hobbies. I've been saying that for a minute. It sounds like you're in that same boat.
I am. I would say that, and I love to do things that just put me in a happy place. Like whether it's and it could be random stuff, like stuff that I grew up doing too. It can be that. Like I love to get into random stuff, but it doesn't relate to business or branding or anything like that. So sometimes for example, I'll go, I don't know, to a toy store or something and just look around or something like that, or a comic book store, and look at collectibles or something like that, or taking a trip out somewhere. I tell Keith all the time, I take inspo trips to LA just to be there, drive to places, check stuff out, get immersed into the city, and kind of get inspo and bring it back. So I do stuff like that, or hang out with friends, or something that takes my mind off of the job,
I hear you.
the job of having to be a brand owner and overseeing everything. And so. Yeah, I mean, I love doing random stuff, dude, honestly. Or watching, iconic movies.
Oh, me too. Oh, yeah. I'm big into movies.
Yeah.
And you know what? And I was just sitting here, thinking, what do I do anything? I love live music, but live music isn't something you can't just finish. I can't just finish editing and be like, oh, I'm going to go check out some live music. You got to, it's got to be an event happening. But I absolutely love live music, for sure.
Yeah, no, live music is awesome. I think, to add to that, like you mentioned, Soul Sunday. Shout out to Soul Sunday, by the way, and having to be there on a Sunday in San Diego, and that's very true. I think it gives, live music, just being there just gives you a whole inspiration to do more and
big time.
do different. So it's I like doing that if I can too. If I can find a way to, schedule something out or put it in my calendar. Oh yeah, let's go to that. Yeah, I like doing that too.
You know what? And when I had Rashad here, we were talking about it, and I didn't until you said it just now. It makes perfect sense. But I was telling him, I love and appreciate live music as a creative. I love and appreciate live music so much because, all creatives, we all want to share. We don't really need the validation more so, but nobody creates to keep it to themselves. We want to share what we create, and live music is instant sharing. You're doing it at a high level, and you're as soon as you pluck a string, you're sharing it. You know what I mean? So I think that's why, for me anyway, why as a creative, I'm a musician as well. I play the drums, but I think that's why I appreciate live music so much, because I am a creative and I like to share, and that's instant sharing. You know what I mean? So anyway,
no, that's important. I think that, and also too, that's a great piece of advice as a creative, because a lot of us think that, we're not going to put that out, we're not finished yet, or whatever the case is. But if it becomes redundant and you're not putting stuff out when, even if it's not ready, put it out. It should be put out, because a lot of it is meant, like you said, to be shared, and if you're holding it in, it doesn't make room for anything new, and it kind of creates this cycle, this new life cycle, where you're creating, putting it out. It served its purpose. Now you're on to the next thing, and it keeps you moving, So that's important. No, I think that's important. Sharing.
Absolutely. It's for me. I don't really look at each episode as like a new like a new baby, like but each show that I create or each like new idea that I'm able to bring to life, and I don't want to say like baby or child and like disrespect my 2 kids. I don't want to do that. But you do feel like this is my thing. This is my gold nugget right here, and I want everybody to have a piece of this nugget. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you create, like you said, it's meant, like we were just saying, it's meant to be shared. But I feel like if you hold it for too long, you'll make yourself not even like it anymore, and then you're definitely not gonna share it. I learned that when I was creating music. Actually, it was like you could hold on to this song and be like, I don't really like this bar. I'm gonna go rewrite that one. And you be rewriting for 2 weeks, and by the time you ready to put it out, you're like, this beat sounds old to me now. These lyrics, I'm gonna just trash it. And it's like you didn't create it to trash it, you created it to share it. You know what I mean? So I'm right there with you, bro. Even because, especially if you're new to what you're doing, your first few creations are gonna probably be trash more often, more than likely. But you got to put them out because you got to put that trash out so you can get better. And for me, I think about that all the time, bro. I go back and look at and again, I still got a lot of growing to do. I'm not where I want to be, but I go back and look at like older podcast episodes and be like, bruh, like I was putting this out expecting people to watch and listen and appreciate it, like, but you got to go through that to grow. You have to go through that part to grow.
I think we probably hear it from time to time, but that's the best lesson to be learned is experience, or to learn firsthand. That's the best teacher rather than somebody telling you. And yeah, I find that to be very true. And then it gives you more of a deeper understanding without words. You're like, oh, you know what? I did realize that. Okay, cool. I know what to do next time.
Have you what's next for the brand? Like what you guys have coming up? What's some of the next drops that are coming? Talk to me about it.
I know. Well, I'm not sure when this will air, but
Friday.
Oh, there it is. We do have we have an event Saturday. It's a dope cultural event that we're putting together. It's called Mexipino. We're doing it over in Nashville.
What's the date on Saturday? The 2nd?
The 2nd, yeah. The 2nd. And if you folks aren't doing anything, come by. You guys are more than welcome. I'm partnering up with shout out to Good Life Tattoo, the Coolio as well, and we're partnering up to put this event together. And everyone just chipped in for it and volunteered for it, and so. Yeah, we've been wanting to put something like this out together just to kind of highlight a lot of the creatives that are Mexipinos in San Diego, big or small. We want everyone involved, so we're putting that together Saturday. I think that might be one of my last events for the year, though. And then going into next year, we do have Comic-Con we'll be doing.
Nice.
Shout out to a shop called Quest. We'll be doing a collaboration.
That's such a dope name.
Yeah, shop called, right? Yeah, no, shout out to my guys over there. And we'll be doing a collab booth for Comic-Con, and so we'll be putting that out as we get closer to the date. And then I'll be having my first art show in LA. Nice. Shout out to Alter Studio out there in LA on Figueroa, and so we'll be out there February in LA. Nice. And so I think those are the two more recent ones. I think going into next year, we have a ton of other things that we're curating and putting together that I can't speak on yet. But no, we're excited, man. I'm excited to one thing at a time, you know.
That's what's up. We got it all lined up. That's dope, man. I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy I could have you in here, bro. Like I said, I've been seeing your hats all over town. I want to say I saw the first one, actually you and Luis. My first time seeing you guys' hats, I was downtown. I think I saw Luis's first. I saw the glitch. I'm like, yo, I need that. And then I seen the distress. I actually went up to the guy. I didn't go up to the guy when I seen the guy in Luis's hat, but when I seen that, I felt like I missed the opportunity with Luis. I stumbled across it on Instagram. I was like, yo, that's what I seen downtown. And then I saw the guy in your hat. I'm like, I gotta ask. I can't. So I asked, and he was like, nah, I actually got it as a gift. I'm like, you don't? He's like, nah, my girl got it for me. And I was like, damn. And then I want to say, Jonah from Barbershop Confidential. Do you know?
Yeah, I know Jonah. Yeah, I haven't met him in person, but I've met him through socials.
I was about to say, I want to say maybe one of my podcast friends wore one of your hats on their show.
Okay, right
And
on.
I was like, oh, there it is. And I started following and I got it from there.
Yeah,
But anyway, yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad I could
Thank
finally
you,
have you on the
man.
show, bro, man. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure to speak to you and hear the whole journey and the vision of everything, bro.
I appreciate that, Michael. Yeah, no, I can honestly say I'm a watcher. I'm an avid watcher, like I mentioned.
Thank you,
Seen
bro.
some of your
Thank you,
episodes.
man.
Shout out to you. You had, like I mentioned, off camera. You had the homies on. Nova Kane. Shout out to Nova Kane, Rashad, and Blake. And so, I watched those through and through, and I said, man, that's awesome. I think what you're doing with your skills and your media content, it's great. Continue to keep it up. I had to talk.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. I had to talk with Keith about it earlier, and I said, it's folks that keep it consistent in the city and through the ups and downs, and just see it through, and to have it be an official platform. That's where the real work is, And so whether it's this, whether it turns into a huge thing, you were able to see it through and offer such a cool platform for folks to hop on, share their story, folks that wouldn't share, and that's what's dope. And I think it's not the amount of people doing it; it's the people doing it consistently. Is
Totally agree.
is the value in those platforms. And so, and I think Rashad said it too. I saw his episode toward the end. It's definitely having to highlight folks or talk to folks that are from San Diego. I think that's very important, because a lot of us, kind of seen, or the right person from San Diego will tell you that they've seen a lot of the culture come and go. For me, like I went to Morris High. I graduated Morris High 2008. Went to, like I mentioned, born and raised out here, and organically became part of the culture, and from the beginning of time here, and seeing everybody do things, seeing the uprising, seeing the shops come and go, seeing the brands, and it's like, there's so much in between all of that created so many individuals in the city. Me and Blake from Soul Sunday, we met a long time ago. Me and him have crazy history together that people don't know about. Like, me and him used to party and, and host lounges and everything, and he's from here, and so and the things that he contributed, and what he's doing now is amazing. And
Absolutely.
So, a lot of us, Rashad as well, a lot of us too. Nova Kane, me and Nova Kane are actually went to the same high school.
I figured when you said went to Morris, I figured that.
Yeah. Me and him are alumni from there, and so and him too. He's done a lot of impactful things here locally, setting the bar up.
Absolutely.
For a lot of folks who want to enter into that space.
He's leading the way for San Diego.
Yeah,
for
he does
sure.
an amazing job, and he continues to do so. And so, and me and him have done a lot of work together too. So it's really important to touch base with a lot of the San Diegans from here, to kind of get all that raw history from people. And a lot of us are connected. A lot of us stay connected. A lot of us have a lot of history together, behind the big cultures that we made in front of us. But like, I find it amazing. I find it like a beautiful puzzle. Like everybody just
That's
creating,
the best way to describe it.
yeah, a big puzzle. Whether all of it is dope. Podcasting, music, art, fashion, all of it is dope, because everyone is contributing to that picture.
And we can all help each other.
That's right.
Yeah, we can all help each
everyone
other.
can help each other. Why not? Why wouldn't you? So, I think it's all important. And when folks talk about San Diego, how come San Diego isn't this or isn't that? Well, it starts with just like, hey man, like if you got an idea, like be true about it and set the bar.
Yep.
Set the bar up, because you know, that's where it starts. I mean, a lot of us don't have the 6-figure budgets, and that's okay. But hey, you can start with having to be consistent and true about your platform, what
Yep.
you're contributing. You know, because one day it'll be something if you get it there. You know, and a lot of times cats don't grasp that concept just yet. You know, I would always think like, dude, like I want to be that guy, like driving that and doing all these charities and giving back. But it's like, dude, like you want to do that on your own terms, on your own success, and you having to work hard to get there, you know. And for you to be that involved in the community, which you still can in other ways. You don't have to be the big spender, the big, you know. You can do different platforms, different nonprofits, and really create an impact. You know, I do. You know, and everyone I name dropped, I really mean it because I really love everyone what everyone's been doing. But Ryan Anthony does it very well.
Yeah.
I love what he does, and so he's so organic with it. And I think if anyone would follow some type of platform, is what he's been contributing to the city in terms of music and him selling fashion and him being a product as well. So, you know, shout out to him too. Yeah, there's a lot of talent, man. There's a ton of us out here.
Absolutely.
And we should all continue to celebrate and continue to stay focused and consistent, because that's what's going to make San Diego, you know, is us staying focused, staying consistent, not giving up on our platforms, not changing scripts, you know, sticking to the script.
Facts. Facts.
And seeing it through, even if times are rough or times are good and great, you gotta own up to it and keep going, because without it, it was just nothing but a new idea, you know. So
Yeah,
my bad. No, that's my my observation with all of it. You know, I've heard Mitchie Slick talk about a few things too, and a lot of stuff he talks about is very true. And to add to the things he was saying is like, you know, we all creatively have to just own up to what we're putting out, and make it as big as possible. That's our responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know? And offer opportunity as we go. You know? So,
I got Moss, man. I gotta say, man, the compliment you gave me, I very much appreciate it. But I've been working for a long time. I know who I am in the city, and I know what I've created. But for people like you that have like a real, I mean, I'm not saying I don't, but people like you that have a real like bona fide and solidified brand here that people recognize in the city, as far as same you people like Blake, you know, for you guys to have what you have and to recognize my platform and consider it like a real like official San Diego platform, man, that means the world to me, because that's all I've been working for. So thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you for having this here,
Absolutely.
man, and thank you for having me on, man. This place looks bigger than what it looks like on there. So.
Thank you, man. Episode 35, Ain't Got It Yet podcast. Guy Moss, the owner and creator of Official Goodstock. Appreciate y'all, man. Tap in.